My name is Uzumaki, aka Rock Lee, and I fight with the power of youth!
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Neon Pow here, and this week we're doing the finale to What If Rock Lee was a Nine-Tails Jinchuriki. That meaning, if you have not seen the previous parts, I highly recommend you do so, and the link to that will be in the description and in the card above. Also, this is the finale to the Rock Lee perspective, not the overall story. That will be continued in the What If Naruto Uchiha series that so many of you guys have asked for, coming next week. So highly recommend you guys show your support by getting this video to 100 likes. Let's see what you beasts can do. Also, make sure to check this video out all the way till the end, because there's going to be some crucial plot points that'll be used for further development in the What If Naruto Was an Uchiha series. So, stay tuned for that. Well, without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into the video. We last left of our chakra talentless young Jinchuriki taijutsu prodigy fighting against Gaara in the finals of the Chunin exams. He is currently in the 4th inner gate and is leading the transformed Gaara away from the village. As Lee makes it farther out into the forest, Gaara gets restless and begins charging at Lee. Lee just barely dodges Gaara's attack as he enhances his body with 5 times chakra enhancements. Opening the inner gates on top of all the chakra consumption from the enhancements has put a lot of strain on Lee's body and stamina. Lee knows he doesn't have much time left, so he opens his 5th inner gate and charges at Gaara to perform a reverse lotus. As the both of them are spinning towards the ground with a large smash, Lee hears his bones snap and feels his muscles tear. Lee is kneeling on the ground but sees half of Gaara's body deep into the ground, hoping that this attack was enough to finish him. However, as he begins seeing Gaara's body twitching, sand begins accumulating around his body. In just a matter of moments, Gaara turns into the giant Shikaku. One would be scared out of their mind in this situation, but for Lee, he feels frustrated that he isn't strong enough and his body is reaching its limits. With his body in shreds, he reluctantly asks his partner, Kurama, if he can get some assistance. However, Kurama is currently sleeping. Lee is definitely badly concerned and knows what he has to do, even if it costs him his life. He will attempt to open the 6th gate, the Gate of View. Lee stands up, and as he is about to risk his last bit of life, he feels 2 hands on his shoulders. He can't believe it, but the Uchiha twins, Naruto and Sasuke, were able to catch up to him. The twins simultaneously smile at Lee and tell him that they'll take care of it from here. Sasuke then activates his Susanoo, and Naruto spawns a giant wooden golem to fight Shikaku. Lee, still frustrated but glad his friends came to help, is sitting on the sidelines watching the battle go down. What Lee didn't realize is that when the Uchiha twins touched Lee on the shoulder, this caused Kurama to be awakened by the Uchiha's presence, which he still hates for what they did to him. He then speaks out to Lee and says,
"Don't let those Uchiha brats think they are better than us. Take my power and show them who the almighty being truly is."
Lee isn't sure why Kurama has so much hatred for the Uchihas, but he begins feeling Kurama's chakra flowing through his body, replenishing his stamina and healing his injuries instantaneously. Lee then reactivates his 4th inner gate and stands up, looking towards the fight of the behemoths before him. He sees that Naruto and Sasuke are about to release the final blow that would obliterate Gaara, but almost instantaneously, Lee speeds towards Gaara. The force of his wind pushes the Uchiha's back and punches him straight in the face, waking up the sand boy and causing Shukaku to disappear. As things look to calm down, Naruto and Sasuke are a bit salty that Lee took the final blow from them. But before they say something, they see Gaara still moving and Kankuro and Tamari trying to rescue him. Both the Uchihas go to quickly end Gaara before he can get away. However, Lee gets before them and tells them that there isn't any need to go after them anymore and that they should just let him go. Naruto and Sasuke look at Lee and see his face and immediately understand. When Lee punched Gaara in the face for just a split second, he was able to go to a dream sequence with Gaara and talk to him. He realized Gaara was quite similar to his old self and wanted to try to save him from the path that he once used to walk himself. After this encounter, our Genin end up heading back to the village to help. However, as they arrive, they see that the fighting has ceased. Fortunately, there weren't many casualties, but they did get word that the third Hokage was killed fighting Orochimaru. Sasuke had thought he killed Orochimaru with his Amaterasu, but now he knows he's dealing with a monster on a different level. There is time of mourning for the Leaf and recovery after the events of the attack. Jiraiya is once again tasked to find Tsunade to be the Hokage as he refused to accept the role himself. He takes Rock Lee and Sasuke Uchiha, which leaves Naruto feeling pretty bad. During the trip over to the nearby city where Tsunade was last spotted, Lee and Sasuke get to finally talk to each other as they haven't really had the chance to before. Sasuke can't necessarily get behind Lee's over-enthusiastic, but he is used to it because of Naruto. He is especially more keen to be able to fight against Lee as he knows he could make of a great rival that isn't his brother. When they arrive in the city, Jiraiya tells the boys that he needs to go do some investigations to get a lead on Tsunade and tell them to do what they want for the day. Sasuke and Lee both know exactly what Jiraiya is really planning. Regardless, Sasuke and Lee both want to use this chance to spar against one another. The two find a local training ground and begin fighting. However, they of course need to hold back so they don't completely flatten the area. Many hours pass of good sparring and it turns dark. Lee and Sasuke were also able to bond as both of them told each other their secrets. Lee about Kurama and Sasuke about his mangekyo and Itachi. The both of them head back to the hotel to get some well-deserved rest. As the two are still sleeping, they hear a loud knock on the door. Both of them know that it couldn't possibly be Jiraiya this early in the morning, so they are suspicious. Within seconds, the door flies open, and standing before them are Itachi and Kisame. They are there to capture Lee for his nine tails. Sasuke can't hold back his rage at all, and activates his mangekyo and begins fighting Itachi. This leaves Kisame and Lee to duke it out. Lee knows that this is no time to hold back, so he immediately uses 5 times enhancement and opens his 4th inner gate. Kisame underestimates Lee as he can't think this kid can amount to anything, but then gets immediately bashed from the back, knocking him into the hallway wall. Lee also notices that Itachi is grappling Sasuke to the wall and needs to save him, but before he can, he gets smashed by Kisame. Fortunately, at the same time, Naruto gets to the scene. Seeing Sasuke being tortured by Itachi gets to Naruto, and he unlocks his Sharingan while filling the entire hallway with wood style. This causes the two Akatsukis to flee. Jiraiya finally gets back, a little late, but Lee updates Jiraiya on all that happened. Sasuke's eyes look pretty bad and looks like he will be out of commission for a while unless they find Tsunade quickly. Jiraiya, Lee, and Naruto immediately head out to the location where Tsunade was last spotted. When they find her, she is intoxicated and isn't listening to a single word their team are saying. Until Naruto reveals his Sharingan to her and says he will be the Hokage in the future. Tsunade and Naruto end up fighting outside where Naruto reveals he can use wood style as well, the same jutsu Tsunade's grandfather Hashirama Senju could use. This ends up persuading her to come back to the village and become the Hokage. She then reveals to the team that she was planning on meeting with Orochimaru to make a deal with him. This shocks everyone, but are glad to know that they have a week ahead of time as they can now plan for it. After Tsunade heals Sasuke, Sasuke and Naruto both work on their Sharingan training, while Jiraiya gives Lee special training that will help him control the tailed beast's chakra better. For Lee, most of the training comes in part of working with Kurama, who seems more motivated ever since the Uchihas got closer to Lee and got more powerful. With this training, Lee seemed on the breakthrough of unlocking some type of new transformation, but still needed more time to grasp it. On the last day of the week of training, Naruto, Sasuke, and Lee all sparred with each other. However, as they were all taking a break to grab some water, it seemed that Jiraiya left one of his sake bottles out, and Lee accidentally got a hold of it when trying to find his water and drank some. This activated Lee's hidden ability, his drunken fist, on top of the power he was getting with the drunken Kurama. Both Naruto and Sasuke activated the Sharingans to counteract Lee, but even that wasn't enough as Lee's movements were just too sporadic. They end up taking a pretty rough beating before Lee finally passes out. They contemplate telling Lee about his hidden power and agree to tell Lee later on so they won't have to worry about it soon. The day of the fight against Orochimaru has come, As same from the Naruto Uchiha perspective, Orochimaru ends up getting captured and Kabuto fleeing so he can plot to save his master at a later date. To everyone's surprise, as the team came back to the Leaf, they not only brought back a new Hokage, but the menace that killed the third Hokage. A few weeks pass, and we end up where Naruto and Sasuke were summoned by Itachi to have a chat. At this moment, Kakashi is told about the message from the Uchihas, but isn't able to stop them as he is still recovering from using his Kamui against Itachi a few weeks earlier. After Naruto and Sasuke leave, surprisingly, Lee shows up in Kakashi's hospital room. Since Guy is currently out of the village on a mission, Lee was instructed by him to tell Kakashi about the ongoing rivalry battle they will have when he returns. However, Kakashi, since he can go after the Uchihas, uses his time to update Lee about the Itachi situation. Kakashi doesn't have to tell Lee much as he knows exactly what to do. He saw plenty of Itachi back at the city hotel and knows it can't be any good. With Lee's immense speed, he hurries over to where Naruto, Sasuke, and Itachi are having their death match. Lee arrives on the scene, and just in the nick of time too, Sasuke and Itachi are falling to their death, but he manages to get them before they fall to the ground. Lee also saw Naruto leaving with Kabuto, but couldn't go after them as saving Sasuke took precedence. Sasuke is currently passed out, but Itachi is still conscious, at least for the next few minutes. Lee doesn't know what he should do in this situation. However, he doesn't need to think as Itachi whispers with his last dying breaths to Lee.
Lee, if you wish to save Sasuke's vision, take my eyes to Tsunade and transplant them into my younger brother.
However, before Lee can take the two Uchiha's bodies back to the Leaf, he is stopped by Sai, who is there to stop Lee and steal Itachi and Sasuke's eyes for Danzo. And that's where we're leaving the finale to the perspective of what if Rock Lee was a nine-tailed Jinchuriki. Now guys, if you want to see the continuation of the story, make sure to tune in next week to What If Naruto Was an Uchiha, as we will be finishing out that story as so many of you guys have requested and hyped. So make sure to like, share this with all your friends and family to keep the channel growing and keep the hype moving. Also, if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon if you haven't done so you can stay up to date with all the juicy what ifs coming to a streaming service near you. So guys, without further ado, much love, Neon out.